What's up, everybody? Christian James here. In today's video, we watch Andrew Huberman and a bunch of other smart nerds talk about retard maxing. Now, for those of you who are not aware of what it is, it's essentially the opposite of paralysis by analysis. Just do shit and then figure out later if it's going to work. Let's take a look. Let's see how these geniuses feel about just going for it.
Are you threatened by the retard maxing movement? Have you heard about this?
That's a great question, dude. That's a great question. That's a good
looks
question.
right at me. Yeah.
Yes. Do you
Let me answer that the way I think you intended it. Yes, I am personally offended.
threatened?
Wait,
Do you
wake up and
you
you're
threatened
are you
by
like,
the retard
I'm
maxing?
retard maxing today? Like, is that what you think?
All right.
What
Oh,
is
it's Cubs girls. He's not
All
a
right.
genius.
All right.
It's awesome.
No, I actually.
What is this? I heard of look maxing.
Yeah.
There's
What's
looks
ret-
maxing, then there's a guy who does what's called retard maxing, which was popularized by, of all people, Mark Andreessen, who's easily one of the smartest people I've ever met. Know Mark real well. He's a big fan of retard maxing. Retard maxing is this guy on the internet who... What, you want to explain?
No, I'm living
Yeah,
it.
kind of.
It's
So,
wonderful.
with all the stuff about get up in the morning and, do this and do that. And,
Don't
when,
be
when you
retarded.
have a problem or all the kind of stuff that Chris covers, like about emerging dynamics of male-female relationships and self-perception and philosophy. And he interviews real thinkers, and they have British accents and that kind of thing. This guy sits in his backyard, is basically a farm, and he does this thing that he calls retard maxing, which is where you basically just don't think about shit at all. You just do what needs to be done. If something bothers you, you just ignore it.
Wait, is this the CEO that is like, I don't self-reflect?
That was
So
Andreessen.
Mark Andreessen came on the David Senra. Yeah, so Mark Andreessen started Netscape.
Right.
And now he has A16Z, which is one of the
hell does that
biggest
even mean?
investment firms in the Bay Area and all over the world, frankly. And he came on the David Senra podcast, which is the guy who also does the Founders podcast. David Senra podcast, incidentally, put out by SciComm. We loved the Founders
Shout out
podcast.
Senra, friend
So
of
we
the show.
brought Senra over, and he brought Mark Andreessen on. And Mark Andreessen said, he used the words, these are not my words, he said, great men of history did not sit around thinking about their thoughts and introspecting. Introspection is not what we need to be doing. We need more action, less introspection.
Yeah.
Actually, Dana White kind of doubled down
I've
on this
watched the
recently,
clip.
saying that he's not. He is not a fan of men talking about their emotional challenges publicly.
Correct.
That it's like get up, go to war, make money
Correct.
for your family. Sort of the old school.
Yeah.
Why would you discuss it publicly as anybody, let alone a man, right? None of you need to know what's going on in my personal life. Like, it's here for entertainment. You've all got your own shit going on. Some could be good, sad, bad, indifferent, inadequate. Doesn't matter, right? Going for a raise, getting fired. No one's here to listen to my sad, sad story. Maybe ladies are here, but I'm not a lady and I don't give a fuck to make everybody sad, nor does anybody care. I don't care to tell anybody. It's very weird that anybody comes on the internet and just presses record and then starts crying or getting upset. It's very bizarre. Like, you may not have anybody to tell, but that doesn't mean you tell everybody. You understand what I'm saying? If you're sad and no one answers the phone, you don't open the hallway door to your apartment building, just scream what you're going to say to the person on the phone. The internet is not for you to just, it's for whatever the hell you want to do, evidently. But I don't think it's intended for people just to blurt out their entire life to random strangers online and then figure out everything's going to go well. Like, everybody seen that clip years ago where the girl clearly hit record and then starts freaking out about an ex, like, swinging her arms and kicking her, like this clip. The hell are you doing?
A stoicism thing. So the Mark Andreessen thing mobilized a big discussion online on X in particular. One sort of angle of attack that he opened was, all right, here's a billionaire who doesn't like introspection, and I know Mark very well. He's not a sociopath. He's a very, very kind person. I know his family. He's an incredible human being at many levels. I'm going to catch a lot of shit for saying that,
I don't care.
but that's the truth. If you
Just
actually
get to the
know
story.
him.
Who cares?
All right.
And now he's retarded.
Now, he then made a
Retarded
try
billionaire.
for retard maxing. He was like, hey, there's this guy on the internet who basically doesn't say shit at all. He just says, just handle your business, do what you need to do, and stop thinking about things so much, don't ruminate so much. And he said he was a big fan of this retard maxing, so building off looks maxing. And then that caught some momentum. And so now the big thing is introspection. Like, should we introspect? Should we think about and reflect on who we are and what's challenging us?
I mean,
and
Why? For what reason? You're just procrastinating on what you actually need to fix. Like, why is my house leaking? Who fucking cares why it's leaking? Fix it. That's all that matters. The introspective bullshit is just avoiding fixing the actual problem. That's all it is. Like, let me think about myself on the inside. Just do what needs to get done. I fully agree with this. Like, you can have introspection if you go through a breakup. You're like, man, what caused me the breakup? That's dumb to not have introspection or be introspective. But the idea of, just doing it for everyday tasks, for every mundane thing is idiotic. All right, we're not the Dalai Lama. Go to work, get shit done.
Dana was basically saying, hey, listen, I think the point Dana was trying to make was that men's mental health, while critical, right? Suicide rates are way up.
It's not women's mental health.
That. He made a very good point, which is oftentimes getting into action and doing things as opposed to being online and thinking about your problems. And rumination is a very dangerous place to be.
Yeah, I think
so. He said, get up and work and provide for your family. When he and Mark said these things, it came across as a little bit dismissive of the idea that emotions are relevant.
If you have to pay rent and you hate your boss, does it matter how you feel about your boss? There's go to work and pay your rent or homelessness. What you gonna pick? Your feelings matter in relationships. Your feelings don't matter in every single thing you do. If you have a job that is so detrimental to you, then find another job. And for everybody, like, it's not that easy. Yes, it is. You have to apply yourself, and sometimes apply yourself very, very diligently. But these are things that can be done. The idea of what they're saying is just people avoiding what needs to get done by thinking about what needs to get done. Like, I had a client today at work talking about, like, their spouse wants to have a small business and they're doing all this research. Like, no, just start. Like, what do you think the research is going to do? Just start. And then as you grow, if you grow, then do research for growth. But just start. It's paralysis by analysis.
I do think, they have a point in the sense that I think we need to balance out some of what we've been hearing a lot of over the last few years, which is that we need to think about every aspect of self, every aspect, too much therapy is not good.
Yeah, if you spend your time just like thinking and not doing. So, because it feels like that's kind of the note behind the note, right? Is like, if you just sit and introspect and think and you just sit in like, I feel this way, and you never actually take action, then you're just literally not doing anything. But I think there's kind of levels to, like, I think it's good to be introspective to a degree, check in with yourself, express how you feel, but don't just sit there and say, this is how I feel, and then don't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, there's a kind of a larger, perhaps deeper discussion around, like, to what, and Mark Andreessen has said this as well, like, people who've tended to accomplish a lot of great things oftentimes have some pretty rough edges.
Yeah.
I grew up in the town where Steve Jobs was around. He used to come in and get rollerblade wheels at the skateboard shop where I worked. And, like, he was kind of a rough-edged guy. He didn't wear shoes. And, when he wanted what he wanted. Then he was known for yelling at people. He would drive 95 miles per hour like you.
That's called being an asshole. No shoes, no shirt, no service, and you yell at people. That's an asshole.
Not even this guy. Dude, likes to drive fast. He got, and so there was this time up until phones with cameras. Thank you, Steve Jobs. There was this time up until phones with cameras where people were kind of celebrated for being big personalities with some rough edges, but for the great things that they did. Now there's a movement largely from the left of like, hey, everything needs to be rather tempered, right? You can't be a big personality.
As Bernie Mac said,
boy, just be yourself. If people don't like you if you're being yourself, fuck them.
Unless you're perfect in every dimension. And if you look, historically, you look at any public figure now, like, you're going to find, as you said, there's that dark and light. And Mark's whole thing is those things go hand in hand. Like, great CEOs oftentimes have some strong disagreeableness. They rate high on disagreeableness. They're conscientious.
Incredible.
Right? But they also are kind of high friction people.
But some of the, like, Mark, and you're like, this is good, but some really high achievers, historically, even now, men, let's say, that are really high achievers, that get a lot of things done and have accomplished a lot, are also, like, from many people's accounts, like terrible people, you know?
I guess the question is, how close are those people to the actual person, you know?
that are saying,
That's exactly what's important. Nowadays, everybody has an opinion about a person that they've seen online or heard of through the grapevine. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has an opinion of people they don't know. I can give you, from what I've seen, an opinion, but I don't truly know the person. You know, celebrities have personas, right? It's not just normally them who's with their family. They have to be on because you expect them to be on. It's the same thing.
that?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now there's a lot of hatred of billionaires.
Sure.
And
sure.
look, I was born and raised in Silicon Valley. So going big is like a thing. Like, even my friends that got into skateboarding in the Bay Area, like, they weren't thinking about becoming billionaires, but like, Embarcadero Plaza in the early 90s. Those guys like started big companies.
Yeah.
Like, went big. Rob Dyrdek, he's from, Midwest, but then came out, he shows, and then he's like ridiculousness.
I mean, I have no beef with him whatsoever.
Going big is a theme in tech, right?
Yeah.
And everyone uses these platforms and everyone hates these people. But I don't know. I know some of these people. I'm not like super close with them.
Yeah.
I like Mark. I trust Mark.
Enjoy your success. If you worked really hard and you earned it, you actually earned it, congratulations. I'm glad it worked out for you. Why be bitter? I don't know. It doesn't help me or doesn't help them. It doesn't do anything to anybody. I'm the only one that's fucking dealing with it. Don't be bitter. Try harder.
Mark. I like the other Mark. I trust that Mark too. I know, various folks who run these big companies, and do I think they're perfect? No.
No, of course.
But I could listen, if I were to start talking about Nobel Prize winners, past and present, man, the men and the women, very complicated people.
Sure.
Like, you want to do
Look, at the end of the day, I believe in getting shit done. Just get it done. If you want to have retrospective thoughts, you want to be introspective later, whatever you want perspective, that's fine. Get the task done and then think about what you did, right? Yes, measure twice, cut once. But when you just need to get something done, don't just sit there and think about getting the thing done. Get the thing done. That's the thing I'm pretty sure they're referring to by men just constantly online complaining about. Look, short guys, women never, ever, ever liked you. This is not new, okay? I'm in my 40s. I was dating in the 90s before the internet. They didn't like you then. They didn't like you in the 80s. They don't like you now. They're never going to like you.
That's right, I said it.
Short kings, whatever the hell you call you, fantastic little guys. Congratulations. They like tall guys. It's always been that way. Yeah, 6'3". Trust me, it's always been that way. It's never changed. Okay? It is what it is. The world has not changed that much. It just seems different to everybody because it's the first time you went through these things. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Look, just do what you got to do and then think about it afterwards. The more you do, the more successful you are. The less you do, the less successful you are.
Well, no fucking shit.
Duh. It's common sense. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me if you agree. Tell me if you disagree. Tell me something in the comment section. Make sure y'all subscribe. I'm out. Thanks for watching.